Good afternoon,
Yeah,
listeners,
yeah.
and also the audience. I would like to give a shout out to our CEO, Donald Paget of VNet Radio and CT Jams. Today's guest is the one and only Champ Jones. He was born in Oakland, California, and he moved to Hartford, Connecticut. So, welcome, Champ Jones, to VNet Radio and CT Jams radio stations. How are you today?
I'm doing very, very well. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And
I
I
would
can
like,
just say one thing, Miss Kia.
yeah, go ahead,
If
go
you
ahead.
listen. I was born in New Haven, Connecticut. Then I moved to Oakland, California right before I turned 1 years old. Then I've been to Oakland, California.
Oh,
Yep, yep.
okay. I thought you were born in Oakland and came
My
to
mother,
Hartford.
my mother, and my sister, my grandfather was. I was the egg that got away and was born in New Haven.
Okay, thank you so much for clarification.
No
So,
problem.
so again, everybody, as you heard from Champ Jones, he was born in New Haven, but he moved to Oakland and he moved here to Hartford, Connecticut.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we're going to talk about your upcoming documentary.
Mm.
So, living in the areas of New Haven and Oakland, did that motivate you to do your documentary?
Um, I guess unconsciously because even then I was a kid. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? When I was growing up in Oakland, I left when I was 10 years old, just turning 11. And even with that, it was a lot that was witnessed and it was a lot of positive and negatives, but I wasn't consciously like aware in the sense. But once I started getting into the shape in the documentary and what emotions I wanted to touch, if you will, it definitely brought me back to those times as a kid in Oakland and the memories I do have in New Haven. So those areas in my time growing up there definitely did shape a perception on how I wanted to capture Hartford as a whole.
Wonderful. Can you tell us about your new documentary that drops on actually Halloween Day?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, the documentary is called "The World Within: Social Perspectives of Inner City Communities in America," and this one is shot in Hartford. And basically, it's a two-part documentary. Initially, the documentary is was about mental health and many other social factors that plays roles into why we have the results and the perpetual activities, if you would, are going into our communities. And before I wanted to get into the whole mental health, I wanted to give the world a background of the communities and environments that these individuals grew up in. And not only that, the strong history that came that's been forgotten, covered up, you know what I'm trying to say, in so many ways that you can see a generational gap between the 50s and the 60s and the 90s and the 2000s on these same streets. And before we even get into trauma and get into things that we may um feel more personally inclined to speak about, I want to show people, man, these same communities at one point that people were scared to walk down was one of the most powerful streets as far as civil rights movement, community days, family orientation. Like, and I think once people get an understanding of what was, they can understand is what now.
Wonderful. My next question is: would your documentary be for sale after you
Um,
release it?
honestly, I can't sell it because I had to obey by the fair use law. I did use a few clips of material that I did get permission from the owners, but I don't own them, so I can't sell them. And honestly, for my first documentary, I didn't want to sell it. Honestly, I wanted to put it out there and see how far it goes, so I can have that creative edge to want to push something that I feel is worth spending your money for. For you know, what I'm trying to say the first time around, I know it's worth it, but I would rather see how the family and friends feel about it first.
Wonderful. Can you tell us about the music in the documentary?
Oh, sure, sure. The music in the documentary is honestly a few of my songs and a few of my brothers, um, Rich Flair and Pro. We grew up together as kids, and a lot of the songs, um, we didn't even plan to record them. It was just songs we had from a long time ago. And then when I was doing the editing, some of the songs we had just fit certain neighborhoods perfectly. And of course, I discussed with them about, can I use the songs? And we decided to go with it. And plus, they're Hartford artists. They're from Hartford, so it's still keeping it Hartford at the same time.
Wonderful. My next question is: what advice would you give upcoming filmmakers?
Um, Save everything on as many devices as you can, external hard drives. Don't be afraid to be creative. Embrace your creativity, embrace your vision to every last drop. Write down everything, plan. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Um, Ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be shy. And understand it's a journey. Don't rush anything. Don't feel you have to bust your head to meet a certain quota of others. Set your own deadline. Put your own passion into it. And remember, this is your work. It's almost like you building a sculpture. And many sculptures are still out in these other lands that's been there for many a century. So you definitely don't want to rush anything and love it. Have fun with it. Most importantly, just have fun with it. Like really enjoy it.
All right. So I'm going to step aside from the documentary. I know that you're a boxer. So who inspired you to box?
Um, well, it's one of them things where when I was a kid, a lot of my uncles they grew up in the 60s. So before basketball got popular, before football even got popular, the dudes of that era, it was boxing. It was always boxing. So I always had this inclination of boxing, but I never really followed through with it until two of my friends that I really had a deep connection with was doing it, and they was consistent. Roman Carter, you go by his DJ Rome, and Raymond, my boy Raymond Perez. He had a few professional fights, and when I seen them going consistently where they did, it just motivated me. And then once I got in there, it honestly got super, super addicting. Like I honestly recommend it for a lot of people, not even for the physicality of the sparring and fighting other individuals, but just hitting the bag and getting some of that stress out and take your mind off of things. And the coaches that motivate, they make you feel like you have a championship fight next week. And I love it.
Wonderful. Because you see, that was going to be my next question, but you answered it. So I
I'm
won't ask
sorry.
that
I talk
anymore.
too much. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, you don't. It's fine. Yes. So are we going to see any more work from you as far as music and documentaries? And if so, when are you going to release them?
um, in the sense of the music aspect, I'm more so behind my brothers because they are extremely talented and they're still very youthful. And I feel like they are the epitome of what Hartford can be as far as talent wise go too. Me, my music is more so just journal entries, on tracks that I just not more so look to make a profit from, not look to make music videos for, but almost like I think if I'm not mistaken, was it FDR? I forgot which president it was, but he used to have a radio show during the Great Depression in which he would talk to the people, to the United States citizens over the radio. So that's kind of how I um look at my music, like a communication. You know what I'm trying to say? Not more something like I got this CD coming out. You know what I'm saying? It's more so like you can find a song that evokes an emotion or to motivate you and things of that nature. And as far as the documentaries, I have The World Within, of course, coming to Halloween, and just small projects that I do around the city with elders to get a lot of more history, some youth to get the city aware of what's going on, and to kill a lot of misperceptions we have about youth here. And me and my boy Big Parish, we're actually trying to work on a documentary called Little No Remorse, which is basically an analogy for the youth that grow up in these broken window communities. And a broken window is a theory that basically says whenever an officer can spot a broken window in a community, they know there's crime around. So we want to talk to these young boys in each community, like we did in the documentary, but speaking to them about these issues from their perspective about what turns, what I'm saying, our youth to feeling left out and to feeling like there's but so many ways to go out. So that's definitely next. Just I'm sorry for talking so much, Miss Kia, but that's definitely where we're going. Just energy evoking things, emotional evoking things, and things that's realistic.
And I don't think you're talking too much.
I feel like I'm talking too much, but I'm sorry.
No, no, I don't think so. So, also, you're a family man. So, tell
Mm.
me your perception of what fatherhood is.
Wow. Leading by example by all means, because I feel like there's so many circumstances in which a father can do the best he can, you know what I'm saying, depending on how he was raised. And that's get left out. I feel like we have so many strong expectations that we forget. Like a lot of men went through their traumas as well and didn't have their fathers. So their definition of manhood is still relatively brand new. So it's more so of a just being there, being consistent and having the right intentions, and voicing yourself, like letting your children know how you really feel. And I'm sure like we all as men have different emotional tolerances. Some of us don't know how to say I love you or don't know how to do these things. So I encourage you to find something that can be symbolic to those words that you may not know how to say, rather be a pat on the head, a dap, something that your child can know, all right, that's his sign of saying I love you.
I love that. Can you tell me your perception of what a husband should be? Because I know your husband as well.
Oh, well, that word kind of strong. I don't know that, but no, no. My perception of a husband, I think it's all relative. Honestly, I think it's relative because in the world, when I say about the world, I mean as far as society. We got the earth and we got the world. And the world we live in right now, it's difficult for anyone to find their true definition of what they want as far as a soulmate or a wife or a husband. But on the earth, we all know we want love. You know what I'm trying to say? That's just in our nature. So if you're of the earth, I feel like if you can see past a lot of the worldly things, you can find somebody for you to be a great husband to without you doing too much. Like I remember at one point when I speak to my grandparents and my great grandmother, just the man doing the what I'm trying to say, farming, feeding the family, being consistent. That was enough for you to be a husband material. Now you got to make a certain amount, wear a certain amount of clothes. You know what I'm saying? Be in a certain crowd, like it's got overcomplicated to the point it's almost like we're trying to shove so much on our computers that the computer about to explode, about to shut down, the drive about to crash. We got to keep it basic. So my perception of husbandry is just basically, being open, being understanding, and most importantly, being yourself and being honest. We got to give more women opportunity to have a decision to make rather than trying to do what the world wants us to do and have multiple women, have multiple this and multiple that, which can be any man know who tried that is stressful. That's stressful. It get tiring. Like it get tiring, get boring after a while. Nobody want to go through that stress. So I think it's relative and it's all come down to the individual and what they call love.
Wonderful. My next question is, can you give advice to those little girls out there and even teenagers and women that didn't grow up with a father? Can you give them advice about men, like what a real man is and what to look for? Because it's sad to say, a lot of women pick the same men like their father, and the man, their father is no good. So they think it's okay to date the same kind of man. But then there's some smart women that say, hey, I don't want a man like my father. I want somebody better. So can you give advice to those women that think it's okay to date the same kind of man that their father is?
Wow. um, I think that's perceptional and relative, but if I had to give advice, learn the nature of men, period. And I don't mean that in the sense, because when we hear that, I feel like a lot of women go straight to hearing nature of men. They think over sexualized, promiscuous, ambitious, and all these other terms that can be a part of it, but that's not what I mean. What I mean by understanding the nature of man is knowing man is creative. Men are thinking creatures. You know what I'm trying to say? They're risky and all as well, but at the same time, know what we need. You know what I'm trying to say? Know what a man looks for. Some men may only need this much to feel this much love. You know what I'm trying to say? And a lot of times I feel women, without knowing, try to bring a lot more of how they feel what a man should be and what they perceive that a man should act like. And that kind of so many ways, like jails him down. Like, I'm trying to say closes a jar that you're not allowing his true creativity to show. You know what I'm trying to say? So for the young ladies or any women, just, give them in a chance, give them a chance to show you and but so many ways that they can be any and everything you want them to be if you allow them to. But you got to separate the worldly perception from what type of clothes he wear, What he drive. If you judging that off a man, you're never going to find a great man because every man is either a paycheck or an idea away from changing his life. And you got to recognize those qualities. You got to know the nature between them when he wants to do well, when he wants to climb, when he needs mental support, when he needs advice. Not everything is sexual. Not everything is intimacy. And even though we're humans, we understand that. But when it comes to a real man, he needs space. He needs, you know what I'm saying, validation. And sometimes he just need to be left alone.
That's right. My next question is, can you give the audience advice on being your own boss instead of working for someone else?
um, my advice is to do it from the heart, like, and not even more so being a boss, but more so being the epitome of what you believe in and what you're trying to have others follow. Because it's been proven, like, even with like in so many ways, people have lost their lives in causes that they believe in and following bosses where they feel like a bring them to a place where they believe they was going to go. So if you're going to be in a leadership position, because honestly, Miss Kia, I don't really like the word boss, you know what I mean? Because I just feel like it brings on that whip type mentality. But
Okay.
like, if you're going to be a person of leadership, man, you got to live the same thing that you preaching without the expectations of other to follow. You know what I'm saying? So you can't expect people to follow. You got to walk in what you believe in. And once people see and feel their value through what you project, you can always make a business. You know what I'm trying to say? You can always make something for somebody to support. But first, you got to be the reason why they want to support. It can't just be the material, the object. You know what I'm trying to say? The website or the IG page, because all that is just that's going and forgotten when it come down to it. You want to leave something that's forever, something they could teach their grandchildren that they saw that you said. You know what I mean? So if anybody that wants to be a boss, anything in leadership, embody the same thing that you want others to spend their last dollar on.
That's right. Aside of that, are you going to do a book at some point in your life?
Wow. It's funny you said that. I'm actually almost done with it. And the funny thing, that's what sparked me to do the documentary. Because I'm still a hip hop person, you know. And one of my favorite rappers, Jadakiss, he made a comment or a bar before, and he said, "You chase the book with the documentary." So I said, then on one side, remember that bar in them moments, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write a book and I'm gonna have a documentary to go with it. And in the book, I'm gonna discuss each interview, each emotion that was evoked. You know what I'm saying? And mix it with some history between the individual and the city. So to answer your question, yes, I am working on it. If anybody has any suggestions or any expertise in that field, I don't know anything about it. I just know how to write. If anybody can help me or direct me, I'm open to it. I don't know nothing about that. I do know how to express myself very well. So to answer your question, Miss Kia, yes, it's gonna be called Hartford as I know it.
All right. So, can you tell us how can we watch your documentary on Halloween?
You can actually, if you go to YouTube now and you type in Champ Jones and you follow or subscribe to my page, you'll see in the corner the documentary is there, but it's set as a premiere. If you want, you could subscribe to that or set the premiere as a reminder on your YouTube page. It'll air on Halloween at 9 in the morning. Soon
Is
as
it
you, yep,
that's
soon as you
that,
click on it, it'll pop up. It'll set your ring the bell or ring your doorbell, whatever it need to do, so you'll know it's there and you can watch it right then on your phone, in the middle of your house, at work, your laptop, everything.
now is your YouTube channel under your name or is it under a different name?
No, it's under Champ Jones.
Okay. And what's the name of your documentary again?
It's called The World Within: Social Perspectives of Inner City Communities in America. Shot in
And
Hartford, Connecticut.
all right. Now, do you have a website where people can follow you?
I don't have none of that, Miss Kia. I'm still getting the hip to a lot of this stuff. I'm hopeful that I could come across individuals who can definitely point me in the right direction for all of that, because I'm just so much into the field work and just what I'm saying, doing what I need to do on that I forget that there's a whole nother world that can help me you know what I'm saying, elevate myself and others that can't see from Hartford. You know what I'm trying to say? So once again, if anybody has any suggestions or anything that can help me in that, I'm open, please.
Do you have any closing words for the audience?
Well, first, I definitely want to thank you for supporting. Um, Thank you and your husband for having me. It meant a lot seeing you at the celebration. It definitely humbled me a lot to know, you know what I'm trying to say, you never know who's watching, you never know who's supporting, and it's always good to return the love back. So I definitely had no issue with coming on your platform. And as far as for the people in the world, anybody that wants to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram, chatting underscore with underscore champ underscore AFTH. AFTH stands for Art from the Heart. And if you follow me already, if you don't, we have a mantra that we say all the time and we live by, and that's stay positive, stay motivated, and stay real.
Wonderful. I want to thank you so much, Champ Jones, for coming on VNet Radio and CT Jams. And whenever you want to come back, you just shoot me a message and I'll set it up for you like I did today.
I over appreciate it. I'm gonna have to probably come and get y'all on chatting with Champ, bring y'all some fish sandwiches and some soda or something.
Do you
And
have whiting fish? Because I like whiting. Yeah, whiting.
we could go wherever you trying to get it at, mama.
Okay.
Whatever type of fish y'all like, we could just fry it up. It don't even matter. And then we
Okay.
have a good time and go from there. But I'm over grateful and over appreciative. Like I'm so thankful that you guys set up. I know what it takes to set up backgrounds and get the. I know the work it takes for that. Waking up and try to follow through and manifest is. I know it. I know
Yeah.
it. So I'm over grateful for you having me and thank you.
And thank you for coming on the show. I mean, the show is not a show without you, you know?
We
They
not
don't want
about
to
to do
see
that,
me,
Miss
they want to
Q.
see you.
We're not about to do that, Miss Q. We good. We good.
It's
I over
true.
appreciate it. And thank you to your followers and everybody that supports you guys and continue to support CT James, man. I'm over appreciative.
Yes. All right, audience, you learned and you watched about the one and only Champ Jones. You can follow him on all the platforms. Also, don't forget to tune in to his documentary that drops on Halloween night. And you
Yes.
can catch it on YouTube and other platforms as well. And let's continue to support him. And we look forward to his book and his new documentary and all the other projects that he has coming. So please support him.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I want to give a shout out to the creators of Made in Connecticut. That was at the skate park downtown Hartford. So shout
Yeah.
out to all Connecticut artists. I mean, it was so much talent there. Oh my God.
It looked like a Hall of Fame game or something, right?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yes.
yep, yep.
And it was so much unity. No one was fighting. Everybody got along. And I love that. I love to see Connecticut shine like that. Because
Yeah.
our talent is unique. We're not like other states where they talk about the same entire theme and we bring uniqueness to our talent, and that's what I love about Connecticut artists. We're so unique.
I second that motion all the way.
Yes. So shout out to the organizers of Made in CT. Everybody did a fantastic job, and let's keep it going.
I agree. I agree.
Yes. You have anything else to say before I close out?
So thank you once again.
Okay.
And I hope you have a great journey, continuation on you guys' journey. I hope you guys take it all the way to the top, and I will always be one of your biggest supporters.
And we're always going to support you.
Appreciate you, Miss Kia.
Have a blessed day, and we'll talk with you soon.
Okay, you too.
Bye bye, everybody. See you next time.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye bye.